Dr. Vicky now at VIDASKIN. Follow me.
Hi Supay!
Hi Dr. Vicky. So nice to see you again.
It's good to see you. You're looking very, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last time I met you was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And what did we do that time?
We did our therapy. I didn't believe you actually when you said there was no downtime.
Yeah, you were about to go on a hot date, right?
No, not a hot date. I was just going to meet my friends. Yeah, but there was going to be so
yes.
many people, like a birthday party. I really feel like my skin is a lot tighter around the jawline.
Okay.
Yeah, and my face feels a bit more medium. What do you think?
I think you look good as usual, but I'm very surprised to hear that you're already feeling all these positive effects, which is good because in our experiences, the effects actually come on about 2 to 3 months later.
Oh,
So it's very, very promising that you're already feeling some difference. So I think we have a lot more to look forward to.
Awesome. Fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed. Supay, to understand what our therapy does, it's important to first understand what a surgical facelift is.
Right.
So in a surgical facelift, as I was saying, we make an incision along the face, we flip it over, we then expose what is deep inside. So first it'll be the superficial fat,
Okay.
and then later on, we actually have the muscle layer that covers and cases all our muscles.
Right.
So in a surgery, what we do is we take this layer, we bunch it up, we sew it up to keep the deep fat in tight and taut, and then we put the skin back, we sew it up. So in our therapy, what we actually have is a completely non-invasive option and alternative to this. So there's no cut in the skin, there's no needles involved. What we do is we use the transducer, which actually emits focused ultrasound deep to this layer. It's a technology that targets the face in multiple layers.
Okay.
So the deepest layer, which is at 4.5 mm below the skin, is exactly as we're showing you in the book, where the muscle layer is. So that actually simulates a facelifting surgery.
Okay.
And then we have a 3.0 mm depth, which is actually in the deep dermis layer. And in that layer, when we heat it up, we actually stimulate collagen for a skin tightening effect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And then the last depth that we target is actually the 1.5 mm. That is sort of very superficial on the skin. That helps really with skin textures like fine lines, pores, skin sagging. So it actually targets the skin in all its levels.
I think it's incredible. Like I didn't have to go through all of this.
All the surgical.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that painful at all. I mean, it was just a bit slight discomfort around the bone areas. But other than that, it was bearable, like really bearable, and no downtime.
I think that's very important for the modern day women, that we can't really afford the long recovery of a surgery. Yeah, so our therapy, it really gives us an advantage to that.
So Dr. Vicky, I've heard a lot about HIFUs.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is the difference between HIFU and our therapy?
When you hear outside, when people talk about HIFU, HIFU actually stands for High Intensity Focused Ultrasound. And HIFU is actually, usually when they call it HIFU, it's usually a copy machine from the original Althera. So most of these copies come from either Korea or China, and usually they are not the original one from the United States.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the main differences that you'll get from a HIFU treatment and our therapy treatment?
So I think maybe I'll explain from a technical standpoint. There are 3 main technical differences that I think is very, very important to understand.
Okay.
The first one is that our therapy is actually the only ultrasound-based technology that has real-time visualization. What that actually means is being able to see the skin as we're treating. Right at that second, when we're treating, we're firing, we are seeing exactly which layer. Yeah, remember, right?
Yeah, I could see my skin and where you were targeting.
Yes,
right?
and I was showing you, this is the smash layer, and this is the depth at which we're treating. So I think that's extremely important. None of the other HIFU machines that you have mentioned actually has a real-time visualization.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everyone is just firing blind in a way.
Okay. Right.
Secondly, I think you'll be very pleased to know that our therapy is also the only ultrasound-based device that has the full FDA clearance. As you know, the US FDA is the gold standard in the world for sort
really
of
strict.
so that means that it's the only machine that actually passed the very, very stringent criteria in both safety and efficacy.
Right.
So there's I think over 60 clinical studies to
Yeah.
prove that it's safe and also it delivers what it claims to deliver. So that's what makes up the FDA
I
clearance.
see. So
Yeah.
you mean even that the HIFU machines are not FDA approved?
So none of the HIFU machines you see in the market
Right.
actually has the FDA clearance. Thirdly, what as a doctor, you know, it comes very close to my heart is our therapy actually comes from a company that is very established, and they actually dedicate a lot of time and effort and money into research and also into protocol setting. So a lot of these HIFU machines are in fact, you know, reverse engineered and then just put together,
Oh no.
rather than, you know, dedicating the time into research and coming up with the actual technology itself.
I see. I feel so assured that I did our therapy.
I'm glad you
Thank
made a
you.
good
Yeah,
choice.
thanks for recommending.
So as I was earlier talking about real-time visualization, I just really want to demonstrate this to all of you now. As you can see, the transducer is we're using the 4.51 at the moment, and as we apply it onto our list face, we can also see on the screen, if you can see this really thick white layer here, this is exactly the smash layer we were talking about. So if I were to trigger this at the moment, we would be really treating exactly that layer that we want to treat. And further up here, where the 3.0 is roughly, this is where the fibrous layers are, and this is where all the collagen lives. So when we're treating this area, this is what actually stimulates the collagen when we're doing the treatment. So we're talking about the 4.5 transducers, which mainly targets the SMAS layer. We also have the 3.0, which targets the deep dermis, and the deep dermis is exactly where the collagen lives. And then of course we have the 1.5, which is the most shallow layer, and this 1.5 layer actually helps with skin texture improvements. So yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about. You can imagine if Liz was a bit older with thinner skin, her fat layer would actually be less deep, and we may be needing a different depth. So without proper visualization, this is not something we can make possible with customized treatments.